Is this the start now of a new Bulls dynasty?
Wonderful try from Leon Price, and the Bradford Bulls are champions of the world.
12 years after they were last here, Bradford Bulls, one of Super League's original superpowers, are back in the top flight and will get their first taste of the big time with a match at an absolutely packed MKM Stadium against a Hull FC team who have big ambitions this year. We're looking forward to this. The atmosphere is already rattling in this part of the world. Well, this is the way they're lining up tonight, as you'd expect. A lot of new faces on both sides. 4 newcomers in the Hull FC 17 tonight. Arturo Romano actually making his debut in the second row. Harvey Hill, Joe Batchelor and Sam Lissoni all played in the Cup last week. But one of the headline grabbers is in the halves. It's a youngster, a local youngster, Callum Kemp, who will be making only his 5th appearance, given the nod to partner Aidan Caesar in the halves, in the absence of the injured Jake Arthur. Well, as far as Bradford Bulls are concerned, even more new faces for a club that was playing in the Championship last year. They have strengthened. 10 new signings in their ranks. Again, most of them playing in the Cup last week. But Connor Wynne, the former Hull man, making his debut officially out on the wing tonight. But you can look at those: Atkins, Masters, Milnes, Ackers, Sutton, Russell and Mellor, all amongst those who are new to the Bradford Bulls. Well, the lights are going out here. The light show is about to take place, and while that's happening, Terry O'Connor alongside me, looking ahead to watching 2 big men going head-to-head tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam Lissoni for Hull FC. The biggest impact at playing in Super League for me is a handful. Even the best defensive sides really struggle to try and hold on to him after 25 minutes when he comes off the bench. And if you are a good defensive player, we'll try stopping him. And Ryan Sutton, isn't it good to see him back in Super League after a 7-year stint in the NRL? He'll come back, he'll play a different brand of rugby under Kurt Haggerty, and he says that he's bringing out like a passing game in him, so he's not just going to be a battering ram. And 2 of those players can have huge impacts over the year for both of their clubs. Can't wait for this, and the atmosphere is absolutely brilliant.
We've got a lovely situation out on the pitch there. You can see 2 youngsters right in the middle of the park. Everybody looking on, watching, because those 2 youngsters, Jack and Leo, the great-grandchildren of the great Johnny Whiteley, have brought the ball out onto the field. There you are, Jack and Leo. Great-granddad, no doubt, looking down, very proud. And the stand on the far side, the east stand here, has been renamed the Johnny Whiteley stand. What a fabulous personality he was. A Hall of Famer as a loose forward back in the day. The last coach to take Great Britain to an Ashes win on an epic tour back in the early 70s. And his name will be forever remembered in these parts, and at the other club as well, Hull Kingston Rovers. He had a stint there too as coach. So he's one of those who unites affections in this city. And his 2 grandkids are making the most of this, aren't they? Absolutely brilliant. It's been a couple of years since we lost Johnny. But what a great fella, what a great bloke. Did you come across him much, Terry?
Yeah, absolute gentleman, wasn't he? Absolute gentleman. And they're doing their bit to get this crowd going, this huge crowd going. They're loving it.
So a huge crowd. I think they're expecting about 17,000. Bradford Bulls fans have travelled in decent numbers, but 17,000. The vast majority, of course, are black and white supporters, and it is the biggest non-derby crowd inside this stadium for a decade. So that just adds to what has been a momentous opening weekend for the Super League. Huge crowd at Warrington last night. Huge crowd and huge occasion at York on Thursday night as well. And all those matches, of course, you'll have been able to watch on the Sky Sports channels and platforms, just like you'll be able to watch every single Super League game this year on Sky Sports. More rugby league on offer this year than ever before. Referee Marcus Griffiths putting the earpiece in, listening to a podcast, and the whole fans will settle down for the opening exchanges here. Terrific stuff. Hull FC, by the way, in the white shirts tonight. Bradford Bulls in the darker shirts, in case you're looking on and wondering which is which. The early bird will be hoping his side can catch the worm here tonight. One or two injuries, of course. Amongst those missing, Jake Arthur and James Bell and John Asiata. Jed Cartwright, Herman Essiese, so they've got some talent to bring back.
Not yet, Rowan.
There's a feeling in the Bradford camp as well that potentially this is a winnable game, and York, of course, laid that platform a couple of nights ago against expectations. Bradford Bulls hoping that they can add their name to the winners' lists at this new weekend of this brand new season. LFC with early touch off the ball, and they'll have to bring it out from deep inside the 20, Terry.
Yeah, isn't it great, though, to see Bradford back in Super League? Four-time Super League champions, won the World Cup Challenge on 3 occasions. All these players now out to earn a big reputation for themselves up against a real fancied Hull FC side this year, let me tell you. Expectations this part of the world are huge.
Yeah, well, they've never been anything less than huge, have they? They've not always delivered on the field last few years. Has been pretty poor, but improvements last year, which has led to renewed optimism for this. And an early penalty here. We are hopefully going to be seeing a much quicker game generally across the board this season, because referees just simply not standing for any closing down of the tackle for too long, and Liam Knight held down for too long.
Yeah, they just want to make sure that they clean the rucks up a bit, make it more of a spectacle to watch for the fans at home and in the stands. Any messing about will be penalised.
Bachelor making his 100th Super League appearance tonight, his first for Hull, the other 99 of course all for St Helens, so he's another one who's settling in. Harvey Hill, another of the newcomers, former Hensingham lad, signed from Wigan, trying to move it wide, but Callum Kemp is caught, but the ball did go backwards, and Will Price able to pick it up. Out of dummy half goes Burrow to this right hand side. Kemp's involved again, a little bit of a skip and a jump, but dealt with once more, closing in on where they want to be here. It's with Caesar. Caesar now. Price popping it over the top. Martin will come searching back towards this near side. What an incredible year he had, of course, last year. Now it'll be Caesar's left foot that tries to tee it up for Harvey Barron, who got there. I think he might have knocked the ball backwards as well if someone had been able to fall on it, but Bradford managing to rescue the situation. Connor Wynn and taking it away from danger.
Do you know, he's the go-to man, isn't he? Harvey Barron and Lewis Martin, to be fair, two of the biggest wingers in Super League. Very good in the air. Unfortunately, couldn't take it on that occasion. And Bradford got it all on now to get away from the line.
Great atmosphere. Hoping that's coming across to you back home, and smoky atmosphere as well. The pyrotechnics before the game, and there's still that bitter taste of cordite hanging in the air. As both sets of players grab for lungfuls of air in these early testing occasion. Mills with a kick away, but it's taken by Price. Looking to add a little bit more razzle-dazzle for Hull FC this year, of course, Will Price.
You know, it's a nice kick. You look at Joe Mellor, number 13. Kurt Haggerty come in. We saw what Salford did and how he worked with Paul Rowley. The coaches that want to throw the ball around. And having someone like Joe Mellor, who started his career as a 7 and played a bit of 9,
so he makes it.
I think you'll see him have a big influence this year for Bradford.
Aiden
Go for
taking it in. Pick up from Burrow out of dummy half. Caesar again, just offering it back towards the middle, but Lytton is going to be held up. One play to go here, and Hull FC find themselves still a good 30 metres away, so it's off the boot of Price this time, and up goes Jaden Ockenbaugh. He'll be looking for a big game today. I think it's safe to say his spell at Hull wasn't perhaps his best form, but settled in at Bradford mid-season last year.
Yeah, it wasn't great, was he? Only 8 appearances for the club before they let him go. Here he is again, wanting to get his hands on the ball. Prove the doubters wrong.
Good offload as well, which kind of releases a bit of adrenaline on this left-hand side. A chance for Bradford to get themselves back inside their opponent's half. Wynn held up 5 inside the half.
Now 3.
Mellor's involved as they shuffle it across, but it's not going any further than Russell on that occasion.
Go for.
Collects from Akers, who'll dart and dash, but just pinned it to the ground with the attentions of Hill. Last play. Keys puts it high, and Ockenball's underneath it. The ball's gone to ground. It's going to be picked up, but then I think Russell has slid out of play. Let's hear what the referee's got to say here.
We have no try. Just confirm, knock on or touch.
Well, he's putting it up for no try. Video referee with an early involvement.
That's what I think.
Liam Moore is our video ref tonight.
Comes off the whole man's leg there at that point, so what happens from here? Then hits Lewis Martin, so let's see where he is in terms of proximity. Yeah, so he's in front at that point. Yeah, so he's in front. Let's just see what happens. Yeah, so we can see it isn't a try, but it's an accidental offside against Hull FC, which is the first offence. Okay. I've made my decision.
So fixed hand over 10 and 10.
So
Okay, Bradford ball, yeah.
accidental offside will give possession back to the Bradford Bulls, but there's a bit of a disaster going on for them in the meantime. Here's the decision, no try, we know that. I think it was fairly certain it was going to be no try as soon as it went up. But while that was happening, Jayden Ockenball was getting some treatment and he is limping off. There you can see, well, a disastrous start to the game from his point of view. On a night he would have loved to have impressed, as Terry was saying, and it looks like that's the end of the road for him.
Yeah, Dave, he came down. It was a good challenge in the air, wasn't he? But he comes down and he just twists, doesn't he? And just goes over. They're fortunate they've got someone like Ed Chamberlain on the bench.
Well, it means that Bradford get the ball back and they've got an excellent attacking position here, 10 metres away from where they want to be. Mellor putting the skids on and then the brakes and trying to dance his way through. Akers waits again, looking to feed them on, and Sutton. It's had a frustrating couple of years in the NRL as Ryan Sutton, with all the injury problems he's had. Looking for some luck here. Oh, the ball is a good one, and Wonga Blake will find a way across that whole line. And in a weekend that has provided us with so many shocks and upsets already, Bradford Bulls get the early start they so desired. Wonga Blake with a try, and it's Bradford who have the lead.
Well, I spoke to Kurt Haggerty before, and he said he's quietly confident for this year, and what they want to do, they want to compete, which they have done in the opening 5 minutes, and they want to entertain. Well, they're certainly throwing the ball around. This was a brilliant ball, wasn't it? Just threaded through from Rome Mills. And another player, Blake, who didn't have the best of starts in his Super League career at St Helens. He gets on the shoulder of Fulton and comes up with the opening try for Bradford back in Super League. It's a big start for them. It's a start they needed. And it's one way of trying to shut the crowd up a bit.
Well, he's one of those players, isn't he, on whose shoulders heavy responsibility lies this season, Wonga Blake, with all his top-class experience. Meantime, Rowan Milnes with a chance to add a couple from that left-hand side, and it could not be any more perfect than that. And 6-0 with 6 minutes played.
Well, the big thing is take your opportunities, just play off the field position that you get. Well, it was said, and in the build-up to this, when we were talking about what does Kurt Haggerty bring, he brings like a brand of rugby like this. Take your chances, make sure you push up into the next hole, support your teammate. And Blake, to the delight of the fans, goes in to score the opener.
Well, he's quite an apprenticeship, hasn't he, Kurt Haggerty, with Paul Rowley at Salford these last few years.
Amazing, really, his career. Like, he retired as a rugby player at 27 years of age. Went over to Toronto as an assistant, went to Leigh, then at Salford, now gets his chance to coach his team.
Had a year as a Bradford player, didn't he? And you look at his list of teams. Blackpool Panthers. Remember the Blackpool Panthers from 15 years ago. Anyway, his side at the moment very much in the present. Logan Lewis with a carry. Ackers will kick from behind the 40, but doesn't really threaten the touchline. Price across there to sweep up. But it's a decent chase.
Yeah, well, you certainly need a good chase when you got Will Price in a bit of space at the back.
He's Martin, and it's going to be a penalty.
Yeah, well, the referee, Mark Griffiths, was calling out the marker, saying that you weren't square. But a quick play of the ball just makes you feel a bit uneasy. And you just want to try and get involved and stop the play and slow it down.
Was very, very early. Good heavens, we've only played 8 minutes, but all FC fans, 1 or 2 in here tonight, will be just harking back to last season when this ground was so unlucky for them. It took them a heck of a long time to get their first win at home last year. Had a very good away record, but for a long time their home form wasn't brilliant.
Yeah, was it only 1 win in the opening 7?
Here's Burrow. Little flick away, Kemp's involved again, and Caesar. That's a quick play the ball from him as well, and Kemp's in there quickly, and Price tries to slide it through, but the intercepted pickup.
I think it's Ed Chamberlain who just manages to get hold of that ball. I thought one of the passes from Hull went a touch forward, but no matter what, Bradford get the ball. Again, just trying to work it away from their red zone through Joe Mellor.
Chamberlain on the pitch in replacement of Ockenbo against his parent club as well. Ekins can't scrag his way through. Another set of 6. So a restart here for Bradford. Sutton.
Play on shot on the 10-1.
Ackers looking out left. Ekins involved again. Still got plenty of tackles in the bag here. Mellor.
We'll get him on the next one. Penalty.
Well, it's going to be a penalty. Late shot from Amir Burrow, I think it was. So the penalty goes Bradford's way.
Well, that's what you get when you've got a loose forward that can naturally play.
Unnecessary.
Joe Mellor goes at the line. He just entices that defence to just come in and put a bit of a shot on him.
Unnecessary.
And he goes, he's taking the steps, and he passes the ball, and just you can see the number 9, Burrow, just a little nudge in the back, which is enough.
So Bradford find themselves in an excellent attacking position again. Hull FC need to be on their mettle here. Chilly night, but not too cold. Conditions just as you'd expect at this time of the year. Fulton.
Hold the 10 way. Go on, good 10.
Ackers. Charging effort from Logan Lewis. A little surge at the line, but he's lost the ball here, and the touch judge is on to tell the referee the ball has been lost, and Hull FC congratulating themselves on that defensive effort.
Yeah, well, Lewis, he's a powerful player, isn't he? Ex-Salford prop forward, takes the ball in. He goes at night, goes at Burrow. You can just see, just loses it with the attention. The body's over the top. Amir Burrow, the man who gave the penalty away, you can just see he made amends for that then by forcing that error in front of the sticks.
So Callum Kemp to feed, the 19-year-old. His twin brother will be sitting on the sidelines watching on as well. Two 19-year-olds who've predicted big futures here.
Go on.
Seen them both feature various stages in recent years.
Away, Lachlan! Hold. Go two.
Here's Burrow. Scamper up by himself, doesn't make too much of a mark.
Hold. Play on, escape to the side, free.
Effort from Knight.
Hold. To dive, get up.
Dive, says the referee. No uncertain terms. Caesar with a kick downfield. There's a lot of travelling to be done here from Caleb Aikins, who does the job of keeping it in play. But look at the chase from the Hull FC defence.
That's a great kick. The first man who was up there as well was Aidan Caesar, the man who kicked the ball. Very good defensive attitude. That's what the coach, Cartwright, will be looking for.
Go to, just give a step, I'm here. Yeah, keep logging. Harvey out! No, Illiam. Wait, go free, good work.
Mills
Hold.
with a pickup, like just a yard or two.
Gone 10.
Mella.
No. Ruins. 5. Go 5.
Hackers.
10 foot. 10 boys.
There's the kick that is steepling, but is taken safely enough by Will Price.
Good contact. Lachlan away. Hold it, Zach. Go 1.
Well, Will Price, just 10 appearances last year.
Dan, move and square.
I mean, he's a big sign, isn't he? You look at that back line, Dave. And I was looking at it before. If 5 of the starting 7 are 23 and under, they are building for the future here, aren't they?
And arriving in the present as well. I mean, Lewis Martin last year, outstanding, only 21 years of age. But what was it, 25 tries in the Super League, 32 in all last season. Super League's top try scorer, just about at the end of the year. Caesar gets the kick away. Aikins underneath. And no pressure from the chase, but it's a wall that stands in front of him.
Hold, not only Cal, go 1.
Well, John Cartwright knows that he's got a very good side. I like to grind out those wins, sign some real big players, imposing players.
Connor Wynn. 100th career appearance for him tonight as well. Connor Wynn, 36 of those here at Hull FC. Ackers, eventually. Mills gets it away, and there's just a hint of a break from Fulton.
Go 5.
Ackers again. Looped by Mills. The chase is on, and Wonga Blake, well, he did get there. I was going to say very nearly got there. He did get there, but the bounce off his chest means that it will end up in a decision going Hull's way for the knock-on, and they get the ball back 10 metres further downfield.
You can see him though, he's disappointed, isn't he? He got his hands on it, unfortunately couldn't bring it in. But they are managing to land on the front. They're getting the noses through the defensive line. They're playing it quick. They are creating some decent opportunities early on in this game, Bradford.
Wonga Blake's got one of those nasal bands across his nose. Remember when those were all the rage? Probably at the start of Super League.
I was going to say, that was about 30 years ago, that, wasn't it?
Maybe it's a retro thing from Wonga Blake. It's marking this landmark year. Hull FC inside the Bradford half. But they've only got a couple of plays to go. Caesar, this now is Price, who's almost through and then just shakes off Mills' attention, puts the kick in. The catch off the bounce is by Batchelor, who marks his debut with a try for his new club. 100 Super League appearances, one of those for the black and whites, and he's a try scorer to boot. And they're back in the running.
Well, that's what you get, isn't it? From Will Price, full of energy. And when he gets through the line, he knows that he's got to try and create something. And Joe Batchelor, one of those players who's coming on a 3-year deal to change the fortunes of Hull FC. Aidan Caesar, Will Price, just a show and go. And you can see Batchelor just pushing up in centre field, showing his support for Will Price. And Will Price, well, he backed himself. He couldn't get a clean pass away. So the next best thing was to drop it onto the boot, knowing that Batchelor will be there to support. Well, we've got a game on now, haven't we?
Okay, I'll speak to him. Shot clock's off, mate.
Bit of city rivalry between the brothers now, between Joe and James, and Joe gets his Hull FC career off to a fantastic start. And Will Price will stick it over, and it is all square at 6 points apiece, and that'll settle nerves in these parts for the home fans.
Yeah, well, he certainly needed that, didn't he? You can see Gareth Ellis just laying down laws, one of the coaches here. And again, Will Price, just that show and go, the speed to get him out of trouble. Brings in 3 players. He's like a magnet when he's carrying the ball. Will Price is that dangerous. But Batchelor, you like the energy, you like the effort that he shows. And he's showed throughout his career. And that's exactly what they needed. And John Cartwright was after.
Happier man.
Right, Rob.
Up in the lofts.
Enough space under you.
John Cartwright.
Right up. Stay on!
Ex-Brisbane assistant coach, of course, John Cartwright, so he'll be more than an interested observer for that big World Club Challenge game in this very stadium next Thursday night.
Away, Joe, get on the rock!
7:30, I think the kickoff will be on air much earlier than that on Sky Sports. Hull Kingston Rovers against the Brisbane Broncos. It's going to be quite a night.
Go to play on, Scruffy. No!
Batchelor again.
Hold. Game free.
Pick up on a dash from Burrow. Price skipping over bodies to make sure he gets in there to keep this progress going.
Well, you can see as soon as you get one quick play of the ball, it's really hard to recover as a defender.
Back it comes from Caesar. It's a spin on the ball. Aikens catches well.
Harvey moving square. Not early, on the foot. Go down. One.
Here's Masters. Some decent players in that Bradford lineup, isn't there? There's Dad Leon, by the way, with the colourful hat on, watching his young son Will. Penalty for Bradford.
Leon Price then, well, he was a big part of the success, wasn't he, back in the day for Bradford, here supporting Hull FC, I'm sure. Well, you will have fond memories of playing for Bradford back in the day.
Yeah. Still enjoying the game. Is that
his brother Carl as well?
Carl next
on the right.
One to him. He was a huge player, wasn't he?
Go.
A winger as well.
Both had very decent. I mean, Carl Price scoring record was pretty excellent when you look back on it. Anyway, let's concentrate on the match in hand. Here comes Mellor. See, put back again, and a burst from Blake, and a ball away, and Connor Wynn will dash for the corner. Hasn't that silenced the majority in here? The former Hull FC favourite scores against his old club, and it's his newfound supporters who are rejoicing.
Well, Bradford, what they want to do, light up this competition. And they won't die wondering, will they? Connor Wynn, like you said, used to play for the Black and Whites. Back in 2019, he made his debut. But Joe Mellor comes over from one side of the ruck to the other. Blake gets through the line. And he looks dangerous, doesn't he, Blake? Certainly gives them some punch over on this left-hand side here. Gets through. Barron and Hardacre and Wynn there just pushing up to support.
Shot clock on.
Well, they're not going to go away, are they, Bradford? Seen some really good signs from Kurt Haggerty's men.
There we go, it's on.
Well, a tale of two former Hull wingers. One has ended disastrously, the injury to Ockenbo, but the other has a bit of glory in the narrative. Wynn, a try scorer. And Rowan Milnes with a chance here to give his side that 6 points lead again. Difficult angle, difficult position. Shot clock counting down to add to the pressure, and he's just pulled it wide. So it remains as Hull 6, Bradford 10, and we midway through this first half, Terry.
Well, excellent player. You just watch Joe Mellor. Every time he gets his hands on the ball, he makes things happen.
Well done.
It's not like frantic, it's not made up play. Like we said when the first try was scored, just keep pushing up, push up into a hole, support your teammate. And the Bradford fans, well, they've come out in the numbers and they've been rightly entertained in the first quarter of the game.
No, but you just need to let go.
Kurt Haggerty up there. Brian Noble is up there as well, who has very much been a part of the Bradford Bulls Super League story, hasn't he, down the years as coach. Well, thunderous effort coming in.
Go on. Makes a 10. Romano.
Those are the match stats so far. You can see that Bradford are making quite a significant number of post-contact meters, more than Hull FC. So.
Yeah, they're very powerful, aren't they, the way they're carrying the ball. 6 tackle busts to 2. Aribi Doro on the field as well for them. They'll give him a big impact in his second spell after spending time over on the east part of Hull.
Hold. Go for.
Ackers.
Okay.
Sutton again across the line. Doro was searching for that in case there was a ball coming his way, but there wasn't. So on the last, Bradford find themselves. One play to go and a kick inevitably from Keys. Price with a catch. Again, it's a decent chase from the Bradford Bulls.
Well, they just can't go away for that throughout this game. You can't open it up for the likes of Price and Barron and Lewis Martin at the back. All three of them have got some decent speed about them. It is Barron, big and powerful every time he carries the ball.
Free. Still free.
Well, this is Kemp again, and he's done well to burrow inside that half and then get that pass away as well.
Off the ball.
No, he might be young, but he's tough, isn't he? Everyone you talk to around Hull says the same.
Penalty.
Oh, there's a penalty that. That's a late shot.
Far too late, Ryan.
Well, just want to force the young man into passing the ball, don't they, young Callum Kemp? Get in his eye line.
Like we spoke about in pre-season. That's a win.
And Sutton, it is.
I mean, they put some trust in him, haven't they, here tonight, Callum Kemp, because obviously Jake Arthur would have been first choice, but for injury, but they've given him the chance. Might have gone with a more experienced player, maybe a Hardacre out of position in there, but they've decided they've got confidence in the youngster.
Well, he backs himself as well, doesn't he? You'll see him, he'll be strutting around in the pre-season training with the first team boys. The first team boys know exactly what they're going to get from him.
Well, they've decided they want the 6, not the 2, as Aiden leads the drive. Burrow marching up there. Suddenly the numbers come to this side with Caesar. Knight, arms wrapped around him. The ball has been lost. Handling error. And Bradford Bulls will get it back.
You want to challenge it? Close up. Challenge it.
Captain's challenge.
Time off. Let me do this first. Liam, Hull challenging the decision of a knock-on. Captain's challenger either.
So Hull challenging the knock-on. So let's hear from the video referee.
Okay, we have a captain's challenge. Hull are challenging the on-field decision of a knock-on. So we're just looking to see, does the ball come loose? So we can see Knight's in possession at this point. Still in possession. Let's review any further angles. It's in the grip at that point, and it comes out of the grip. See that. Is there any intent to steal?
That right arm of Fulton.
Is that a pulling action on the ball? Yeah, you can see that it's Fulton's right arm, confirming there is 2 men in the tackle, and you can see he clearly has a grip under the ball and pulls the ball downwards, which constitutes a ball steal. The challenge is successful.
Well, there you go. We're seeing a few of these successful challenges this year, aren't we? And it is not a knock-on. It will be reversed, and it will be a penalty for Hull FC.
I thought he was going to go the other way at the start. Liam Knight, well, he was adamant, wasn't he, that the ball was stripped, and he was right, looking for his captain to challenge that decision.
So here comes the charge and the roar from the crowd. Lingy Sao puts his best foot forward. They shift it right. Kemp's involved, Price is involved, the long pass, and he's a finisher. Harvey Barron in at the corner, picking up what it all left off last year. The outside backs of Hull FC are thrill machines, and they're back level again with Harvey Barron's score.
Oh, just on the back of a new 2-year deal, well, that's the way to celebrate it. Signing it in round 1. And look at the size of him. Young Harvey Barron, 22 years of age. Said before, one for the wing has caused a lot of good defenders problems last year in Super League. 22 years of age, scores, he's so powerful, gets an opportunity, clear strip from Fulton. He challenges it, they get the ball back, and it's nice, it's clinical over on this right-hand side, and a nice ball from Price, and there was just too much from Conor Wynn to do here to stop the big winger for going in, and you can just see how he rides the tackle, just puts all his weight on his left-hand side, bumps off Conor Wynn and goes in for the try.
Brilliant example of the new rule, that as well, by the way, because I think last year that might have got up as a video referee call, or would have all been hanging around, but while the celebrations were going on, that was being quietly checked in the background by Liam Moore very efficiently, and he's confirmed that try a good few seconds ago, which allows Price to kick that over and give his side the lead for the first time at 12 points to 10.
Yeah, it's a nice kick, isn't it, as well, from Will Price, but nice shape, nice pass, and a powerful finish, really. Conor Wynn is a good defender over on the left-hand side for Bradford, but he couldn't prevent him from scoring that try. Well, they've got a big future here at Hull FC, I believe, in the next few years, if they can keep hold of these youngsters in particular in the back line.
Test of character now for Bradford, having led twice and finding themselves behind.
Yeah, absolutely, but I don't think they'll panic, though. They'll have that siege mentality that nobody expects them to come in and get a win in round 1. Well, there's some good players in, there's some real experience in that Bradford side.
Price marches up to dummy half. Just a reminder of what's coming next week. Hull KR Brisbane, 6:30. We're on air next Thursday night. And live from Vegas the week after Hull Kingston Rovers against Leeds, 11:30 on air for that one. Well, it's such a fantastic year. The two French clubs, of course. Two new English cities represented in Super League this year as well. Big events to come in Paris and at the new Everton Football Stadium. Magic weekend. We are licking our lips in anticipation of everything, even though we're still only on week 1.
Well, Hull FC now just trying to turn the pressure up. Now on Bradford. Kick them down near their own try line. And I tell you what, there's a figure they're not going to want to see as there's, what, 14 minutes to go till half-time. That's Sam Lasoni getting warmed up, ready to come on.
Well, here's Toro doing a bit of damage as well. Could be thunder meets thunder when Lasoni comes on the field as well. The offload is good. Sutton. It's a kick from behind the 40 from Joe Keys, and this is a tough one for Price to get his head round and hands round, and the touch judge on the far side has said it has gone out of play, and this is going to give Bradford an excellent position here. Referee eventually making his whistle sound.
Well, he will try that spectacular play, and he's always tried it throughout his career, even coming through Huddersfield. It's a good kick, isn't it, from Keys?
Well, he's not out of play. Right, well, there's no challenge.
Wow.
So Bradford get the play the ball. He's taken it into touch. So Bradford with a play the ball, 10 metres out, looking for a quick strike back, having conceded just moments ago. This is Fulton. 5 plays to go from here. Noise level just gets a little louder inside this stadium. Sutton driving it in. Here comes Ackers. It's a run to the left. Doro went over there as well. Mills is the man who takes it in. Ackers again. Doro just goes direct, and it's a penalty for a high tackle. So at the very least, another set, possibly 2 points to be had here.
Yeah, on the third play as well. You give that penalty away, and yeah, you go for 2 points, wouldn't you? If you're Bradford, or would you keep it alive? Well, Joe Mellor just looking like he's organising here. They don't want to go for the safety play of taking 2 and drawing it all level. They're going for the 6.
They're going to win the game. They've got to keep scoring tries, haven't they? So here they come, and what an opportunity, because it's a second set for them to have a go. Chamberlain angling it in. Ackers switching it back. Mellor trying to get it to Sutton. Hits Sutton, goes to ground. It's a knock-on. Well, it's a waste of an opportunity, but Hull FC will say that they have done their job defensively.
Yeah, well, the Hull FC players now will get a lot of confidence from that, from keeping Bradford out. Bradford, on reflection, you take the 2 all day, and all like you said, you've got to score some tries to go ahead and win this game, but keeping it tight, keeping it level. Sutton just couldn't take it. Romano just in his eye line forces that error from him, and the celebrations now from the FC players.
So Hull FC just looking to scramble their way downfield as quickly as they possibly can here. Barron leading that charge, but Bradford, I was going to say Bradford would love to put in 5-6 big tackles here, but they're offside, and that is a real get-out-of-jail card free here for Hull FC.
Well, do you know why they were getting off the line quick, Dave? Because Sam Lasoni was lining up to get the ball. They wanted to take away as many metres off him as they could.
Another of those new signings is Lasoni. Hardacre. Cade Cust is on the field, slotting into dummy half, and here comes Big Sam, already a local favourite, with his first touch of the ball for his new club in Super League. And I think the crowd have made them their feelings aware to all around, and then the ball steal as he tries to pick himself up, and he gets a penalty.
Look, he's hard to handle. He's a big man. He picked out his former teammate at Leeds Rhinos, Andy Ackers, who did a decent job to keep hold of him. But when he ramps up, you've just got to get your bodies in front and try and stop him.
And that was Lingy Sao, who's hardly a small man. This is Caesar, and now Price, who pops one over the top. A step back on the inside for Martin, but the defensive cover is there in numbers, thwarting those ambitions. Lytton slinging it to Caesar. Oh, and he was caught in possession there, Callum Kemp. That was a good read from Blake, but it's the penalty again for Hull.
Unfortunately, it's a knock-on, isn't it?
It's a knock-on,
yeah,
that's what it is, yeah.
Yeah, he comes in, doesn't he, Blake? He nearly does everything right. You can just see he closes the player down. Unfortunately, it comes off his left hand as he's trying to effect the tackle on young Callum Kemp. But it's a nice read, isn't it? He pulled the trigger, goes in, stops the play. There's 3 men on, 3-man overlap.
Well, here's an opportunity for Hull FC. Lytton offside against the Bradford Bulls.
Yeah, I think it's Ed Chamberlain over there on the right-hand side. Just stood in front of the referee, and Hull FC just looking to keep the pressure on here.
Here comes Sao. Right to the ground. It's taken a little bit of energy out of that Bradford defence, no doubt. Caesar, Lasoni, but Wonga Blake was right into his ribcage from the moment he got the ball. The play of the ball is good. Dummy shown by Cust. Price back in there. Lasoni playing the role of pivot. Caesar goes left. Lytton hunted down, beats them all, beats 3 with a little bit of strength and some fabulous footwork. And Davy Lytton over to score, and Hull FC stretch their lead.
Well, Davy Lytton, we saw the talent last year come through. He missed the opening rounds at Super League, but played the last 23. He's a quality player, isn't he? Another one off the production line here from Hull FC. And Davy Lytton. And again, he gets all of this ball. Lasoni looks to pass the ball out. Caesar just hits Lytton, steps, goes through, gets through. Some poor efforts in defence, really. If you're in a Bradford shirt, there was enough players there that had hold of him. but you can just see he gets rid of Chamberlain.
Yeah.
And manages to get in. I think it was Masters as well. He got rid of. And it's been a good response, really. Bradford turned up with the right attitude here.
A rehearsed celebratory handshake there you might have seen with Zach Hardacre. That'll be doing the rounds on social media, no doubt. Price has stuck the ball between the uprights and 18 points to 10. And for the first time, Hull FC have a 2-score lead here. An element of comfort with 7 minutes to the break.
Yeah, well, the fans starting to celebrate now. A bit more relaxed the way Bradford turned out. You can see Masters on the wing. He gets rid of Chamberlain, gets rid of Masters, gets around the full-back as well, Aitken. And it's a good play, this, from the young man, isn't it? He certainly knows how to get to that try line. And there was a bit of a problem with Aribi Doro, the number 15 for Bradford. He got some attention when that try was scored from the physio.
Just to reiterate Terry's point earlier, Will Price 23, Harvey Barron 22, David Litton 22, Lewis Martin 21. The youthfulness of that back line, but my goodness, the impact they're already making early in their careers.
Yeah, that's right. It's not as though they're just starting out in the career. There's a lot of Super League experience with those young men.
Here's Cust. Hardacre wants to get involved, but Price takes over as the dummy half. Hayden down the middle. Cust again. It's Sao. Last play is the next. So it's with Caesar and the boots. It's hanging up there. Taken in by Aikens again, but again nowhere to go because just corralled by those chasing defenders.
Yeah, well, they're just finishing the sets off well, and again, look at that line speed. There's nowhere to go for some of these Bradford players.
Those post-contact meters have levelled up and tipped the other way now, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. It was heavily in Bradford's favour early on in the game. Like I said, the scales have tipped now.
Here's Ackers waiting patiently at the heels of Masters. Half break.
Hold. Go for. Play on.
Blake offering it to several, eventually dropping it off for Aikens.
Hold. Go far.
Ackers on the last. Keys is putting it end over end, this one, and Price has got the measure of that with a huge, prodigiously. The referee had a good long look at that before deciding that it was a penalty rather than an accidental collision. But they are going for a captain's challenge here, are they?
They're challenging their score.
Yep, captain's challenge underway.
Bradford are challenging the decision that happened in the air. They're claiming an escort prior.
They're saying there's an escort, you've heard that. So let's hear from the video referee.
OK, on captain's challenge, first of all, we're confirming it's onside. So we can confirm both feet behind the ball at that point. The ball is outstretched.
What's up, mate?
I'm happy to play on from this point. So let's see what happens.
I was seeing if you were going to play on. Were you going to play on? You'd have might score.
He's running to the ball at that point.
Oh, is that what it was?
Can you keep watching the speed of the ruck for us an attack?
I've got it. Please. Don't worry, I'm on to it.
He's entitled to run towards the ball.
Aiden.
Just confirming where he comes from. Any other angles? Is he going to be the best one? Camera 4 is going to be the best one. So Batcher's got eyes on the ball. He's running towards the ball. And you can see they collide. And then he makes contact in the air. That it doesn't constitute an escort because he's running towards the ball and he's got eyes on the ball. So the challenge is unsuccessful.
Aiden, on the money. On the money. You're on the money.
I've seen it quite a lot.
It's going to be all penalty, won't it?
So we're back to where we were. Penalty for Hull FC to clear their lines.
He's more honest than I am,
pretty
to be
confident
honest.
as well, wasn't he, Masters, that he was knocked off the ball and he played for that Batchelor, but he was just trying to get back Batchelor and just give that man a bit of comfort at the back. You can just see eyes on the ball from Batchelor. He's just looking up, isn't he? Looking where his fullback is.
4.5 minutes of the half remaining. Hull FC found themselves under pressure for large quantities of this first period, but now in the driving seat.
Okay, now.
And another try before the break would certainly fuel this place's enthusiasm for what they're watching.
Arrivi off the ball. Hold. Go through.
Cust.
Okay,
Aiden pops it back and Caesar goes wide, and Hardacre quickly out to Barron because he knows his threat and he knows his ability to beat those men tight, but he's cut back middle.
Go for.
Still have a couple of plays to go. Price. Caesar. Well, it's developing on that left-hand side, but Bradford's defence is across there very well. It looked for a moment as though they could have the numbers and the width, but Bradford's defenders tracked across quickly. Caesar, unusual kick. Hardacre, this is the last. The kick for the corner. The chase is on again, but it's the ball that wins that race, and a tap back on the 20.
Well, it's a good defensive set from Bradford. They're keeping the shape. They're not panicking. They're pushing off. They've been pretty disciplined as well. And you can just see them numbering up. Hardacre gets the ball in. Wynn just has a little look over the right shoulder, knowing that there's too much on that ball. And like you said, Dave, now they just don't want to concede now. Coming up to half time.
One, go one, Cade.
Hackers with the one-handed pickup, forward pass, yep. Referee was shouting that straight away, and touch judge on the far side helping him out on that matter. A loose play by the Bulls.
Yeah, but Skur come up with a decent carry, really. And Andy Hackers, well, they're just trying to play it fast, aren't they? Get over that advantage line, just kept hold of it for just a split second too much. Andy Hackers, he was trying to just keep hold of those markers just to give Masters a bit of space behind to play the ball.
Shot clock off, ball in, Cade, out. Top line. Keep going.
Here's Hardacre.
Zach, move. Hold.
It's a big set defensively here for Bradford.
Cust has to get in there quickly.
Yeah, nice shot. Hackers under the ball.
Hold. Go on. Evan, shot.
Cust again. This is Kemp. Caesar. And again in motion. And again with a threat. A skip from Will Price.
Hold.
Final 2 minutes of the half. Prime position for FC.
Andy, move. Hold. Go.
Cust. Coming back to the middle again, and here he comes, the steam train. But Sam Lissoni slowed down by a couple of bodies, stopped by a couple more. Caesar puts the kick in, that chase is again won by the ball. Not quite judging the bounce, the speed off the pitch, and Bradford get a 7-play set to come.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed with the end of that set. Still had another tackle of the bag, just too much on that kick from Aidan Caesar.
Zero, go zero.
So 6 from here. Miller.
Through the line. Balls up short.
Bradford would dearly love, of course, to get a score before we hear that hooter sound. And they will finish the half with ball in hand. Miller to straighten up. It was a pass that maybe asked a little too much of Evan Skur.
Yeah, well, you're just playing back into the teeth of the defence, aren't you? Tip the ball back on the inside. He hadn't switched off Hull FC. Joe Mellor had already made his mind on what he was going to do when he had hold of that ball. And you could see that Joe Baxter was just loitering with intent, the number 11 for Hull. The ball needed to go out wide to challenge them on the edges rather than in the middle.
Shot clock off, ball in, out, time back on.
Caesar out to Price, and he looked for a kick and a chase. It was knocked down, but it has given Hull possession back again. I think that play very much reflective of how long is left in the game. This first half, just about 15 seconds. Another set of 6, not that that matters. So,
get off the ball.
Cust. This will be the last play as the hooter sounds in the background, so the kick and the hope, but caught safely enough. And Eason Masters keeps the ball safe to just see that first half out. And this big crowd, a lot of Hull fans off their feet at the end of that first half to applaud their side's efforts. We've seen them have to come from behind twice in the game. It's been vibrant and buoyant from the Bulls at times, but those 2 late tries from Harvey Barron and Davy Litton ensuring that Hull FC lead this first half by 18 points to 10.